Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today at the Phoenix Mountain Preserves for our yin practice. For today's practice, we will be utilizing 2 blocks and a blanket if you have it. As you can see, I do not have one, but I do recommend for you to have one. This here is Chai. She'll be joining us in our practice today. And a few things to remember about our yin practice. Yin is going to all be about becoming comfortable with what is typically very uncomfortable. So long pauses, silences, time with our breath, sitting in one position for an extended period of time. Little fun fact, one of my favorite facts about our yin practice is that it truly takes the body about 90 seconds to actually surrender, to finally relax and rest into these poses. So as we spend anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes in these positions, I recommend for you to find your most comfortable. So instead of getting into the pose and finding your very edge right at the beginning, I recommend for you to offer a little bit more support than you typically would take, or maybe a little bit extra compared to what just feels like you need, and then slowly remove the support, the blocks, the blanket, whatever it is, as you need it. So we're really thinking about diving into the pose slowly, like wading into it like a beach, not so much just diving into the deep end. So be patient with yourself, be mindful with yourself, and when we're ready, we'll get started in a Sukhasana, an easy seat. Guiding a block under your sit bones. You can have a blanket under your sit bones. Grounding down into the knees, find a few breaths of intuitive movement. Rocking back and forth, side to side. You can always allow the fingers, roll out the wrists, maybe reach the arms forward around the spine. You'd reach the arms back, up overhead, any combination of this that you need. Find 2 more breaths, moving however the body craves. As we eventually ground down in our center, grounding down into the knees, rotating the pelvis forward, making lots of room for the lungs here. Draw the shoulders down and back, lengthen up from behind the ears. Take the hands to the knees, close the eyes, and breathe. Asking every inhale to become just as long as the exhale. Breathing in and out through the nose, just taking time to arrive. As we prepare our energy, we prepare our mind, our body, and our breath. Preparing for stillness, let us first find movement. Roll the head in circles. Getting those neck circles around, taking the head as far in every direction as feels good to you. Staying with the breath, switching directions whenever you need. And noticing maybe there's one area of the neck that we just want to sit with. We just want to breathe into, listening to your body. Taking 2 more breaths here. Guiding everything back to center, lengthen up from behind the ears, draw the shoulders down and back. 2 of your slowest breaths. So drop the elbows a little heavier, let the shoulders rest down, let the knees fall a little heavier. Let us shine the palms forward, reach the hands down by the sides. Inhale, reach the hands up overhead. And as you exhale, find a forward fold. Now, before we come into this fold, you may want blocks under the knees for support, maybe just on one side. Again, you may want a blanket behind the glutes or underneath the knee. As we find this forward fold, make space for yourself. Maybe that means adjusting the belly, adjusting the thighs. Fingertips can be to the mat. We can flip the palms up to the mat. Let the head hang heavy as you just come into the breath. Remembering it doesn't matter how far we fold. This is all about how deep can we breathe. How much can we trust? How much will we allow ourselves to release? Trying to make every inhale just as long as the exhale. And as the mind gets fussy and starts to create a lot of opinions and a lot of emotions surrounding these poses, I want you to offer yourself movement if you need, rocking back and forth. Rock yourself as you would rock a baby or a loved one. As you let yourself settle into this pose and coddle yourself into feeling safe. It's important to remember that the body will not surrender if it does not feel safe. Just breathe here. Bringing in 2 more of your slowest breaths. Bottom of that breath, move in slow motion as the inhalation rolls your body up from the tailbone up, just 1 vertebrae at a time. Move slowly, move kindly, move gently. Shoulders draw back and then down. Head comes up last. Lengthen from behind the ears. Flip the palms up. Pull the elbows in. Offer 2 slow breaths. In your own time, send both legs long and wide. As wide as the legs would like to go. I like to keep the support of the block under my sit bones. You may want a blanket. You may want support under the knees if the hamstrings are tight. Wherever you are, ground down into the sit bones, lengthening in the spine. Finding your breath, let us shine the palms forward to the side. Inhale, scoop the arms up. Exhale, slow surrender. Now we can bring the fingertips down to the mat, easing ourselves into this. We may want blocks under the forearms, maybe stacking the fists to rest the head. We may just keep hands in line with shoulders. Offer that support. Make any adjustments you need. Maybe remove the flesh from the sit bones and find yourself in center. Let yourself surrender as feels best. Now, if we get here, and this is a whole lot for the lower back, if that's really where you're feeling it, I invite you to take a block, a blanket, whatever you have, place it under the lower belly, and build that gap as much as you need between the belly and the floor. Having that support will offer more support to the lumbar, allowing maybe a deeper surrender, a softer surrender, a safer surrender. Let the head hang heavy, flip the palms up. Just breathe here. Bringing in 2 more of the slowest breaths that you can find. On the very bottom of that breath, moving in slow motion, bring the fingertips to the mat and slowly rise up 1 centimeter at a time. Drawing the shoulders down and back, bringing the head up last. Tuck the elbows in, flip the palms up for 2 of the slowest breaths that you can find. In your own time, pull the right foot in to meet the inner thigh. Bending into the right knee, adjusting on your block or your blanket for the glutes. With that foot onto the inner thigh, we ground down in both legs and notice if we feel any pressure, any discomfort in the knee, offer support with a block, a blanket. What'll happen is when the hip gets tight, bending and opening is asking a lot from that knee. So please give it the support it deserves. It is important we feel grounded here. Grounding down into the legs, we lengthen in the spine, get nice and tall. Turn the shoulders to the left, chin in line with the toes. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up and wide. Exhale, surrender over the left leg. You may get here and then decide you want support under the leg. That is okay. Again, if you feel this too much in the side body, create support between the thigh and the belly. Bridge the gap. If you want support under the head, you could bring a block onto the shin, maybe stack the fists. You could let the head hang heavy here. You could rock from side to side. Again, movement or stillness, depending on what the mind needs. Remember, movement is for the mind. Stillness is for the soul. Just breathe. It's not about how far we fold. It's all about how deep we breathe and how much we can trust in our release. Anytime you feel a build-up of energy, inhale to gather it, and sigh out to release it. Bringing in 2 more slow breaths. All the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. On the very bottom of that exhale, get the fingertips to the mat. Move as slowly as you can as the inhalation guides you up. Just barely, one vertebrae at a time. Unwinding once the bones are stacked. Drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Tuck the elbows in. Flip the palms up. 2 of your slowest breaths. We let that energetic body arrive with us. In your own time, send the right leg long. Pull the left foot in. Readdress what needs support. Offer support under that left knee. Again, if you feel any tightness in the knee, please bring support under. If that right hamstring is tight, we can offer support under the right knee. Wiggle anything out if you need little movements, and then we get nice and tall. Grounding down into the legs. Turn the shoulders to the right, chin in line with the toes. Inhale the arms up and wide. Exhale, surrender over the right leg. Now remember, each side of the body may feel vastly different. As we get to know ourselves here, again, provide support between the ribs and the thigh if that lower back or the side body is getting this too much. The hands could stay under. We could relieve, stack the fists, rest the third eye on the block. Whatever feels good, movement or stillness. So you feel free to make adjustments here as you need. Maybe inhaling to get a little taller every time and exhaling to surrender, breathing into that wave of surrender. Remember, there's no wrong way to be in your body. There's no wrong way to breathe. Taking 2 more slow breaths. On the very bottom of that exhale, use the fingertips in the inhalation to roll yourself back up. as slowly as possible, unwinding, stacking the bones, lengthening the neck, tuck the elbows in, flip the palms up, take 2 slow, cleansing breaths, drop that tension on the exhales. Softening the body on the bottom of that exhale. As we remove the support, roll the body forward, make your way into a tabletop. Rearrange your mat and your blocks as needed, moving slowly and intentionally. With the fingers spread wide, hands below shoulders, knees under hips. Tucking the toes under, let the head hang heavy. Rock the body back and forth, sitting back onto the heels, pressing forward into the wrists. Moves of gratitude, moves of kindness, moves for appreciation. Guiding the body in some circles, shifting the weight around. Switching directions when you're ready. Give yourself just 2 more breaths here. 2 more breaths of just experiencing your body. Now that we've experienced some slowness. Not rushing to come to conclusions, but just breathing into the possibilities. So we make our way back to center. Inhale, cow. Press the navel down. Lift the chin to the sky. Exhale, cat, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, bring the chin to the chest. Inhale, cow, feel the belly, lengthen the throat. Exhale, cat, tuck and lift. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Finding a neutral spine, bring the knees out wide. Take the toes to come to touch. As we inhale to lengthen the heart forward, exhale, child's pose. Tail guides back to the heels, pressing the hands down into the mat. So this draws the shoulder blades down the spine. Keep pressing the hands down into the mat as you slowly surrender. Third eye can make it down to the mat, or we can bring the mat up by offering blocks under the belly and under the third eye. Support the spine, support the body as you need. Wherever you are, just breathe. Come here, girl. Allowing yourself to settle in, settle down. Now you can keep the third eye on the mat, or you can take an ear to the mat. Switching this variation whenever you need. If getting here too much for the shoulders with the hands high, you can always pull one arm down, do one at a time. Take the variation that suits your needs. And come back to the breath. Softening down a little more every time you breathe out. Remembering if we find stagnant energy, sticky energy, inhale it through the lungs. And exhale to let it go. Gentle sighs for deep release. Bringing in 2 more slow breaths. On the very bottom of that breath, lift the gaze, extend the legs long, and press the body forward. Lay flat onto the belly, send the legs long and floppy. We can stack the hands under the third eye. You could drape the hands down by the sides. Shift the hips from side to side. Shifting the hips from side to side, noticing where you feel it in the spine. So we bring the feet into center, so the legs are at neutral, feet are at hip distance apart. Shift the hips from side to side here. Notice what you feel. So we drag the elbows under the shoulders, palms face down, tops of the feet on the mat. Come into a Sphinx pose here. Pressing down into the forearms, guide the shoulders away from the ears so we lengthen up from behind the neck. Pressing down into the forearms, slightly drag the body forward. Just think about lengthening the spine here. 2 breaths. So we slowly lower the chin, hands come under the shoulders, peel the body up to a tabletop. Nice and slow, guiding the knees back below the hips, hands back below the shoulders. Inhale, cat. Pull the ribs high as we fill the lungs. Exhale, cow. Drop the navel down as we empty. Inhale, cat. Think about pulling those shoulder blades apart, pulling the ribs high as you inhale a little deeper. Exhale, drop and lower. 1 more. Inhale, lift those ribs, fill the lungs, try to expand the ribs wide. Exhale, slowly release, meeting back into neutral. Let's make our way up towards the top of the mat. Shifting over onto our sit bones, planting the feet flat in front of us. Now we're going to want our blocks within reach here. So having those blocks nearby. As the hands hook behind the knees, draw the shoulders down and back. Inhale to lift the heart up to the sky. On the exhale, slowly surrender 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way flat onto the mat, head rests last. Draw the shoulder blades down the spine. Let the feet flop from side to side. Hands on the belly. Let the head get heavier. So we drag the heels up close to the glutes. We're going to slightly lift the hips just enough to tuck the tailbone. Lower each vertebrae down one at a time. So each one of those lumbar, let that tailbone rest last. Heel toe the feet out wide to the edges of the mat. Slightly lift the toes just to bring awareness to the feet. Windshield wiper the knees. Let the knees fall to one side and then the other. Pair the movements with the breath. Inhale to center. Exhale as the knees fall to the side. See if that happens to slow down our movement. Being intentional with these movements, thanking these hips, honoring all the body has to offer. Two more, even out your sides. As the knees come back into center, walk the feet up close to the glutes, as close as you can make it. Then walk the feet into touch, into center. Let the knees fall out wide to a butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Offer blocks under the knees, under the legs. Now it could be very up close to the glutes if you choose. We may take it on a higher setting, further out wide. We may be up here. There's no wrong way to do it. No support is too much support. But offer your body the support. Again, we want it to feel safe, but let's wiggle the toes together. Feel the soles of the feet touching. Drawing the shoulders down the back, lengthening from behind the ears. Give a slight tuck to that chin. Close the eyes and just breathe. Bringing in 2 more of your slowest breaths. Using the hands to assist the body. Slowly guide the knees back in together. Removing the blocks, walk the feet out wide to the very edges of the mat. Let the knees fall in to touch. You can rock it around, dipping one knee down to the mat and then the other. Take 2 loving breaths here. Thanking the hips, honoring the body. As the knees come back in to center, walking the feet in line with the glutes. As we prepare for a supported bridge pose, we'll be using the largest, flattest side of our block. Inhaling to lift the hips, slide the block directly under the sacrum, that flat spot at the base of the spine. You can think of it like the back of the hips. Now, if one block feels great, you want a little bit more height, a little bit more support for that bridge. We can offer a second block or add a blanket to it. As you find that space to come into center, you'll know it when you feel it. As you feel steady on your blocks, we have lots of options. The hands could be on the belly, far out to the sides, maybe up overhead, maybe cactus arms, whatever you choose. Feet can stay planted, knees can come out wide, knees can fall into touch. You could send one leg long, really opening up those hip flexors, maybe sending both legs long if you choose. Taking the slowest breaths that you can find. Feeling free to change variations at any point in time. Wherever you are, just breathe.
I thought this led down. Anywhere? At this point. Huh? Did we drive down? You want to? We can. I think so, yeah. I don't want to like wait.
Taking 2 more of the slowest breaths that you can find. Moving in slow motion, dragging the heels back in line with the glutes. And as you center in here, if you feel steady on your blocks, if you feel stable, you can join me in lifting the knees to hover over the hips. As you find yourself here, roll out the ankles, scrunch and flex the feet. You could reach the feet up to the sky if you'd like and continue to move the ankles. You could keep the legs long. You could go back to bent knees. You could have legs spread wide, whatever feels good for you here. Take 2 more breaths. As we bend into the knees, slowly lower 1 foot at a time. Feet in line with the glutes, grounding down into the heels. Inhale to lift the hips, remove the blocks. Exhale, lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Surrender the spine. Find any final movements your body's craving. We can windshield wipe or the knees. Can rock the head from side to side. Wiggle out the jaw, move around the brow. As we prepare to find our final Shavasana, we slowly guide everything back to neutral. Send the legs long. Arms could be out to the side, maybe up overhead, cactus arms. You can sweep the feet from side to side, start loosening up the legs. Noticing any energy in the body still feeling heavy, stuck, or sticky. Together, let's inhale to the top. Exhale, soft sigh. So we let the head get a little heavier, the shoulders drop, the glutes relax. Let the arms rest heavy as the belly drops, the glutes soften, the hips relax. As the legs get heavy, let the feet feel like bricks. As we settle in, settle down, close the eyes, and honor this final resting pose. Our Shavasana. As you slowly allow the breath to balloon the belly. Incorporate small movements to the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists and the ankles. Reaching the arms up overhead like a new morning stretch. Point the toes, arch the back. As we then roll on to our preferred side in a supported fetal position. Allowing this comfortable space where we infuse it all with gratitude. So we are grateful for the toes, we are grateful for the feet, the ankles, the shins, the calves, the knees. Thank the thighs, the glutes, the hips, the spine, the ribs, all of our organs inside. Thanking the shoulders, thank the heart, the chest, the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers, the hands. Thank the neck and the ears. Thanking the eyes and the face, especially that beautiful smile. So we take in one more full breath, nothing but a gracious gratitude. In your own time, press yourself up to a comfortable seat, finding a place where we can share a single breath together. As the hands come together, let's rub the hands together. Spread the warmth. Feel the warmth between your palms. As we then guide the hands into heart center, let us empty the lungs completely. Together, let's pull in a slow, deep, mindful inhale all the way to the top. Bring in a little bit more if you can. Maybe one more sip. Then we'll let it go. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May your entire universe be filled with peace, joy, love, and light. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. It truly means the world to me. I appreciate you very much, and I hope you enjoy every moment of your day. See you next time.